All right, 2 more, Vinny.
All right, Chris Foley asks, is Taco Bell nasty fake food as many suggest, or is it perfectly acceptable and even preferable fast food? Taco Bell tacos are yummy and have surprisingly good macros. And he links to their menu.
Macros?
I don't
Who cares
go to
about the
Taco
macros when you're eating Taco Bell? It's terrible for you.
I don't go to Taco Bell either.
Do you remember that time, Vinny, when we were coming back from Sonny's party?
The tacos at Jack in the Box?
Oh, my God. 2 tacos for 99 cents at Jack in the Box. I can't believe I'm alive right now after I ate those 2 tacos.
Why?
Well, yeah, now you brought this up, we have to tell the whole story. And I'm sure we have before, but it's been a while. So we go to Sonny's party. And so you are hammered. And I was driving. And we had decided beforehand that we would stop at Jack in the Box. You saw a commercial for the tacos, I think. You were really, really determined to try Taco Bell's 2 tacos for 99 cents. Now, the thing about the Jack in the Box near Sonny's house, this had to have been a front for a drug cartel or something. Because, without fail, every time we went there, we would be in the drive-thru for at least a half hour. Seriously.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, a half hour.
It was a horrible place.
And we were stupid enough to keep going back. So it's partly on us after a while. So we go to the stupid Taco Bell, or Jack in the Box. And you are drunk and irritated, and I'm irritated with you. And we're in line for a half hour, and you get your 2 tacos for 99 cents. And we finally get our food, and we're pulling out, and I stop at a light, and you're digging through the bag, and I look over at you, and you poured the bag out so the taco would slide out, and you just looked at the taco that came out, or what was alleged to be a taco, and your face was disbelief, disappointment, a little bit of rage. You cannot believe you had invested all this time and all that excitement and anticipation, and yes, even that $1, and this is what you got.
For some reason, I actually thought that I would get something of value for 50 cents.
I think you expected like an authentic Mexican street taco?
I don't know what I thought, but I whatever I thought I was going to get, I didn't get.
It was probably just lettuce.
No, it was...
Lettuce would be consumable.
It was just a shell.
In oil. Like a deep-fried taco shell is what you got.
Yeah, it was absolutely disgusting. I'll never forget it and never go there again.
Mm-hmm.
Do we got one more, Vinny?
We do. It's a little redundant. It's another cold weather question. Should I skip that?
Do it.
All right. David Davis asks, Granny, it will be negative 20 degrees here tonight with the wind chill. What's the coldest weather that you ever had to live through?
She lived in Montana in the Ice Age.
We talked about that a lot on that Montana. We had to put a rope around my dad when he went to the barn so he wouldn't get lost.
Wait a second.
That does sound familiar. But
you had to put a rope around him so he wouldn't get lost?
Yeah, it was so, it was so snowy and the wind blowing and he couldn't see where he was going.
I see. It was very, okay, that makes sense.
So he wouldn't get lost coming back.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, Granny.
I was going to make a joke about mastodons, but that's such a great story, I can't.
Yeah.
Brian, there's only 4 more. Can we go through them fast?
Fine, go quick, Vinny.
Kevin Jordan, contest idea. Ridiculous and fake audio reports involving wrestlers of any time. Kayfabe news or the Onion style.
It's called the Frank A. Gotch Flying Mare Wrestling Newsletter.
You guys can have that one.
All right. Drew Blanton asks, have you ever had cookie butter? It's like peanut butter, but made out of cookies instead of peanuts.
No, I haven't.
Richard Mullen says, I got a contest idea. See who can run the fastest.
What?
Twice,
he says.
What do you mean twice?
I don't know.
It's a best of 2?
I suppose.
What if there's a tie?
I don't know.
Thank God we read these last questions.
And Bobby Gross wants to know, Granny, are you watching Better Call Saul?
I looked that one up. All I know is he's a lawyer, but I've never watched it.
All right, 4 questions, done.
Hell of a job, Vinny. Hell of a job.
Thank you.
Granny, anything else?
No.
Don't want to rush you off the show or anything,
but
I know it's
I was
late.
going to try and not have this a train wreck tonight.
Well, Granny, that's just no fun. A train wreck is better.
Well, I was thinking about that too, you know. When I do a terrible job, that's what everybody expects. So, So, but
Granny, it's the Bryan and Vinny and Granny Show. It's a show, so have some fun.
okay.
There's a million terrible wrestling shows out there. We may as well have some fun with it.
I don't have anything else.
All right, Granny, well, have a good weekend and be ready for next week. No contest, huh?
Okay. Well, I'll think of something for next week.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I'll let you go,
Welcome
and then I'll
home.
talk about our contest.
Okay. Welcome home.
Thank you, Granny.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Granny, everybody.
Sure was.
So the contest, the Craig contest, is coming up Tuesday. It is the Inappropriate Censorship Contest. And make sure you send your entry to me in an MP3, brian@wrestlingobserver.com, and make sure you put Craig Contest in the subject line. If you do not, there is a chance I will not read or play your entry. And hopefully it is an entry that I can play and not read, because that would be a very shitty contest if I had to read all of the entries here.
And put in the bleeps.
That's right, put in the bleeps myself. So you have until Tuesday, everybody. Try to keep it at 30 seconds or less. Anything you want involving anybody on this website. Unnecessary censorship. If you listen to the Bryan and Vinny Show from about 4 weeks ago, you can hear the example that we played on the program, which I don't have in front of me right now, but you can probably Google it as well and find out. All right. Before we do NXT and Lucha, I just have to tell this story. It is a cautionary tale for all of you out there. Do not let this happen to you. I was at the Safeway, right over there, Vinny, getting gas. And I pumped the gas. I marveled at the money that I saved there at Safeway with gas prices so low. And I jumped into the car, and I turned my car on, and I drove off. And I drove out of the Safeway parking lot, and I drove to the end of the road, and I turned left, and I drove down the hill past the QFC, and I turned right to go up 228th, and then I turned into the Mud Bay because I needed to get cat food for the babes. So I shut off the car, and I'm about to get out, and I can't find my keys. And so I check my pockets, and I check the pocket of my sweatshirt, and I check under the seats, and I'm thinking,
Now, is your car the kind that the key does not have to be in the ignition?
oh, yes.
Oh.
And so I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck are my keys? How did I get here? Uh-oh. Did I leave my keys on top of my car? I fucking pray to God I did not leave my keys on top of the car back when I was getting gas, because they are nowhere here in this car. So I decide, yep, that must have been what happened. They must be sitting on the gas pump, or they fell off my car at the gas pump. I got to go back and get them. Fortunately, since I don't have my fucking keys, I can't turn my fucking car on. So now I'm really pissed off because I've lost my keys and I can't turn my car on to go find my keys. So I call Whitty and she's not answering. Apparently she'd been in the shower. And so I call like 3 times. I'm sending texts. Nobody's answering. And so I decide I've got to run back to the gas station. So I start running. And by the way, keep in mind, this is the day I got back. I've been gone for 2 weeks. The only exercise that I had done in the entire 2 weeks. Normally every day I go to the gym. I train at least 2 hours of jiu-jitsu. I'm always training. I go to Hawaii. I'm gone for 2 weeks. I've done no training. I've walked. That's about it. So I came home, and the first thing I did was I went to the gym. And so I'm already tired. And now all of a sudden, I've got to run the mile or the 2 miles or whatever it is all the way back to this gas station. So I start running, and Whitty calls, and I basically tell her, meet me at the Safeway. Now, why didn't I tell her, come and pick me up and take me to the Safeway? Because I'm a glutton, number one. And number two, I figure, okay, I don't know how far I drove before my car keys fell off my car. And so I should just run back and retrace my steps. So long and arduous and 2-mile uphill story short, I ran all the way back, checking the road all the way, and I found my keys right out in front of the Safeway. I had somehow managed to drive from the gas station to the end of the parking lot, and it wasn't until I turned a corner that they fell off my car. And unfortunately, they fell off my car and were run over by, I would presume, some sort of semi-truck. The keys were not just smashed, they were in pieces. My house key was smashed into about 3 separate pieces. The key to the post office was broken in 2. And most importantly, everybody, this is the most important part of the story. My key fob was absolutely obliterated. Do you know how much those fucking key fobs are, Vinny?
No idea.
Probably $400 they're going to charge me for that key fob.
That cannot possibly be true.
I'm not even making this up. You can Google it. Google it.
You can get a car for $400.
I guarantee you, it's no less than $250. There's no way. But yes, key fob absolutely completely destroyed. Everything was destroyed except, coincidentally, the container in which I hold my chapstick. My chapstick, untouched! Everything else, absolutely completely destroyed. So I got no car keys. I have nothing. So the moral of the story is, everybody, go to REI and grab one of those little carabiners and put your automatic entry key fob on it and lock that goddamn thing to you at all times because you don't want this to happen to you.
What's your brand of car?
It's a Mazda. Google Mazda key fob price.
Mazda keyless entry remote, $29.99.
What?
It's from remotes.com.
Oh, if I buy it myself. Okay. Because Mazda said if you lose this key fob, it's $250 or whatever to replace the thing. So it's possible that you got to bring it to them and they've got a program, and that's when they charge you out the ass.
That's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Still seems impossibly expensive.
So for those of you that saw the picture on Facebook of all of my keys, now you know the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. Son of a bitch. All right, let me play a song here and then we'll get going. I was going to say, what haven't we played in a while, but the answer would be everything.